Oh yeah, I can like turn on a thing. Forgot. Up, down. Hang on. Forget I have to tell it the freaking... There we go. Like, there's gotta be something in here where it's like reversing, and I think it is, that it's like reversing the C-stick. But I don't know why, and I don't know how to like fix that. All I know is that it is very clearly reversing the C-stick. Because like, the analog stick, right? Like, it says Y minus Y plus, and X minus and X plus. But then the C buttons, I have to rebind, but then like, Y plus ends up being up when it should be Y minus. So like, it's inverting the C stick for some reason. And I don't know why it does that. But it does. Oh, and the inputs are all over on the other thing, aren't they? Hang on. I can fix this. Let me see. Actually, can I just... let's see. Like, can I... No, not input lag. I want... Usually you can, like, move stuff. Like the different windows and such. Audio editor. Item tracker, check tracker. I don't see a way to move the input tracker. So, what I will do in that case is I'll move this up here, up above me. And I will move myself over here. And now it shows the inputs. Whoops. I mean, it doesn't seem to show, like, C... or not C. Like, it does show C. Like, it doesn't show control stick inputs, it looks like, which is fine. But it does show, like, A, B, R, Z, L... C buttons. So, that's cool. I don't know if it's really something anybody cares about having on the screen, but I think it's kind of cool that you could do that. So I'm just gonna do that. So, we came to Kakariko for a reason. Or not Kakariko, Kokiri Forest for a reason. I don't remember what it was though. Cause I remember, like, I specifically turned child so that I could be here. Like, it would start me here in Kokiri Forest. But I don't remember what it was that was here that I needed. But there was something. Cool. Everything is still set the way I had it before. Trying to think of what I needed from here. Because clearly I needed something. I don't remember what. Let's see. Before I go anywhere, I do want to, I'm actually going to shrink the item tracker down a little bit. Because I would like it to be here instead. The inputs do show up underneath the tracker, though, unfortunately. Oh, also, apparently we have a D-pad now. Which is interesting. Okay, see, these buttons are bound, right? It's fine. I know I did all of that so that the inputs could be there, but it's fine. Allows controller navigation of the menu. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't need that to be a thing. But yeah, I like, it just makes it look better. Being, you know, smaller. Because last time, you know, the rupees were covered. And not that I was like upset, but I didn't want them to be covered, basically. So, in either case, we've got that. So, I guess I can Bunny Hood and Ocarina. Like that. Dedicated Ocarina and Bunny Hood items now. Or buttons now. So let's put these down as well. In fact, I'll put the bombs on down, since I generally do need them. Alright, cool. I think that works. I like that. I don't know where the D-pad came from. I don't know what I did to turn it on. But I'm glad that it's on now. I wanted that last time, but it wouldn't let me, like, you couldn't figure out how to turn it on, so. Oh. Several things have changed. I think I changed the setting somewhere. I don't know where. But, neat. I can only assume that whatever I was after was likely in the Lost Woods, so let's start there. Either the Lost Woods or the Sacred Forest Meadow. I did you. I don't have bottle. I don't have bottled bugs. So I should probably look into that. Did I do this? And apologies, I am gonna kind of have to figure out what I was trying to do last time. You know, try to figure out like where I am and what I did last time. Why I prefer to do these in one run. But that was not applicable last time. So, you know, so. Was I wanting to do this? Because if so, then I need to go get the mask. Because I don't have the other masks yet. I know that we did not finish the mask quest because we couldn't find the dude. I'm trying to think of what else I could possibly have, like, come here for. Though. It's like I did the Wolfos. I've been here. Is the time thing on, or do I need to set that? Time travel is not on. Okay. Let's see. Enhancements, gameplay. Woo! Those time savers. +6 on that. Let's see. Where is the chest size, texture match, items, difficulty? Where was that? Require input, disable crit wiggle, extra mode. I'm trying to remember where that was. Because, like, we used that constantly last time. Was that a... That wasn't a cheat, was it? Maybe it was? No? Shot everything. Time sync, shield. No, that wasn't a cheat thing. Where was that then? Sculpture of Freeze, Fast Chest, Chests of Agony. Remember save location. Time travel with Song of Time. There it is. Any Ocarina. Okay. Turn it back on. Let's see. I do have the hook shot. So that does mean that I can do the forest temple. Maybe that was the idea. Because I could just time travel. Maybe I just came here and was going to just time travel to adult for a forest temple. It's all I can guess right now. It might have been that I like figured that I would have. Yeah, I don't have like other stuff in here. Like it might have been that I thought like, oh, I'll do the mask thing, and then just forgot to pick those up. Like pick up the mask stuff. Not entirely sure. Bonk. Okay, that's another setting that should be on by default, in my opinion. Where would that one be? I'm looking for...
Mittens? You crack me up.
Visible guard vision. I'm trying to find the option that makes it so that you don't go into first person. when you pull out the bomb chew. Prevent bomb chew forcing first person. There it is. Okay. Help all these settings save. I don't know how to like set, like create a preset, you know? I missed. Took aim, but I missed. So I fired again, but I missed again. Sorry, that's one of my favorite, like, Game Grumps, like, bits. I don't know what you would call it. Skits? Bits? I was kind of surprised that he hadn't, like, turned around, you know? Like, I was right there. And then he did. So that's really funny. I have been told that, like, audio modding isn't available yet. It's part of why, like, the Linkle mod still has Link's voice. Unfortunately. Cause like I guess they don't have a way to like edit to mod audio in the game yet. Whee! So fast! What you got for me? Godzilla. Like, I feel like I turned on Dungeon Skulltulas. Did I not? Did I set it to... Whoops. To Overworld Skulltulas? I do like the inclusion of health bars. Alright, when you Z-target, it makes the other enemies not, like, attack you. Like, that's just a base feature of Ocarina of Time. Which is really cool. I just always forget that that's the way that Ocarina of Time works. It's like, as long as you're Z-targeted on to one enemy, the others won't attack you. When they're, like, groups like that, anyway. Like, if you were to Z-target on, like, Death Mountain to the Tektites, I don't think it would do that. But other stuff it does. Pop. Surprised they still haven't, like, made that go faster yet. Even, like, in Randos. Also, I do wonder if there's, like, a speed run community for the PC port. And it's like, yes, you have to use these settings to, like, it makes the game, like, run faster, you know? Like, yes, you know, 100% speed run. But then you have, like, all of the, like, speed settings turned to the max or something. You know? Because I know that, like, speedrunners will go as far as to, like, play the Japanese versions of games and stuff. Just because, like, it's faster. You know? So I wonder if there's, like, you know, speedrunning community that uses the PC port with all the speed settings to the max. You almost fell asleep. Whoopsie. I mean, it is almost midnight. And for any normal person, that would be like past bedtime. In fact, Echo, stop. I should really disable that notification. Since, like, the person that that notification is for, like, they're not even here. Like, they have their own room now. So, like, they're not out here anymore. So I should, like, disable that notification, because it's completely useless. Just, I'm a little weary about doing that, just because the last time I disabled a notification, I ended up, like, disabling everybody's notifications on accident. Like, the whole households. Because, like, I thought when you just, you know, removed a notification, it, like, removed it just from that one device. And so I was like, remove all notifications. And it actually removed all notifications. And I was like, oops. Okay. Because it was, I mean, this was, you know, a couple months ago. But one of my nephews had actually, like, left for, like, a week or something like that. And he had, like, a couple of alarms set to, like, wake him up. And so, like, the alarms were going off to wake him up, but then he's not there to be woken up. And I guess when you set an alarm on one of those things, it just, like, it doesn't, like, snooze or turn off automatically. It just, like, keeps running basically infinitely. And so I was, like, waking up at, like, 3 p.m. And the like, morning, you know, wake up, it's morning alarm would still be going off. I'm just like, the frick? So I was like, well, alright, I can fix that, you know? I'll just remove the notifications. Except then I didn't know, like, the name of the notification or anything. Or, like, what specifically to remove. And so I was like, well, the only notifications on this one thing, you know, the thing, I won't say its name, because otherwise she'll go off. I'm like, the only notifications are on this one are for them anyway. So after I had spent like 5 minutes trying to figure out like how to tell it to just disable like a couple notifications, I was just like, forget it, you know. I'll just remove. Well, not disable, but like just remove, because I couldn't figure out how to disable either. So I was just like, I'll just remove them. You know, they can add them back in later, kind of thing. And then I couldn't figure out how to do that. So I was like, alright, well, you know, it's just the one thing. So I just told it to remove all notifications for it, you know, that are on it. And then my family was like, do you know why our like, all of a sudden, all of, like, notifications were not there? I'm like, oops. Apparently, all of them got removed. Like, legitimately all of them, not just the ones on the device. I'm like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Like, why would I be telling this specific device to, like, remove its notifications if I wanted to, like, remove all of them? Like, I guess it's so that, like, you know, you don't have to go to each one and, like, remove all the notifications separately and whatnot. But, it's just, I don't know. It's the only reason I can think of to, like, do that anyway. Wow, okay. Freaking, I hate these poses so much. I really hate the Ocarina of Time pose. I'm just gonna be honest. They're such a pain to fight. They're not fun in the slightest. That's a nice trap. Oh, I can't do this room until I do the Stalfos down here. Completely forgot to go in here. Which is fine. I don't even, like, remember how to get in here normally anyway. So I guess we'll figure that out when I have to leave. Hey, come back! Cool. What are you? Deku Seed Bullet Bag. I mean, it's not terrible. Mirror Shield. Oh. That was cute. That she was like running for a second. I don't know what made that happen, but that was cute. Pop. I should have just floated back up, but I didn't. I'm just gonna do a quick float up. Just to go a little bit quicker through this section. This is how I actually used to get through the temple. Because I didn't know that you needed the Goron bracelets to move those blocks. And I didn't know, like, how to get the Goron bracelets, even if I had. Because I had all equipment, but I guess it didn't count the Goron bracelets as all equipment. I like that he just walks over the freaking hole. So is the death of one of these Stolfos gonna lag it out? I don't know if I've ever done this fight on the PC port. Hey, it doesn't. They fixed whatever caused that to lag when that Stolfos dies. I don't know what it is that causes that. But for whatever reason, when one of those Stolfos dies in the N64 version, it causes the entire game to lag real hard for just like a moment. But you drop to like 10 frames a second when you kill one of those Stolfos. I don't know why. I wonder if anybody's like figured it out and ever like done a video on it. Probably not. Like somebody's probably figured it out. I just don't know that somebody's done like a YouTube video on like, this glitch is caused by this. Like maybe like this is why these glitches are you know, like compilation thing, but not like you know, this one particular glitch is caused by this reason. You would think that it has something to do with all the parts, but that's not the only time that you fight two Stolfos in a room. And it doesn't glitch on those. Like it doesn't lag on the others. It's only on that specific way. You know? Like, it's only on that specific fight in the N64 version, so. But yes, it definitely is way more optimized on the PC port. Because, like, I mean, just in general, like, you're not dealing with the really, like, low N64, like, properties. Whoa! I thought I was fine as long as I was underneath that, but I guess not. Do 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 do. And now we spin. Listen, I do a lot of like references to stuff, but I feel like maybe I should, you know, leave some of them, leave some of the references to the original creators. I say that now. We'll see if I continue to like not, you know, do Vinny's spin reference, but I just didn't do it that time. Like, that was the thought pattern for why I didn't, but also I don't know if that's really, like, if I would actually, like, care that much. I almost got crushed just then. Oh, this is gonna be so much easier. Because it doesn't take 1,000 years to push a block in this version. It just takes 1,000 years for the pose to let you attack them still. I personally thought it was hilarious. Probably only one of the references you'll get though. I mean, I get that. I'm not saying I won't ever do the Vinny spin again. But, like, that is, like, his thing. You know? And I feel... like, part of me is like... I feel bad because, you know, I'm using Vinny spin. But also, like... Does it really matter? I mean, how much comedy is just recycled anyway, you know? I didn't see target the right one. I watch too much YouTube. I used to, like, when I used to stream all day long, right? Vinny's gonna send Nintendo Ninjas after you for using a joke too many times. Like, when I used to stream all day long, all the time. Like, I didn't watch YouTube really at all. You know, I only watched, like, one or two people. And I remember, like, streaming, like, after watching, like, not after, but before, like, watching YouTube. Like, I would, I would, like, stream, and then, like, before going to bed, I would spend like an hour or two watching like Game Grumps and, you know, like one or two other YouTubers that I don't even know if I follow anymore, to be honest. But at some point, and I really don't know exactly when, watching YouTube and just like having it in the background while I do anything just kind of became the norm. And now, like, that's just the way it is. Like, I'm always watching YouTube. Like, if I wasn't streaming right now, I would be watching YouTube. You know? I might have forgotten how this puzzle works. There is a slight possibility I might have forgotten how this puzzle works. Here we go. It was in the blue. I think I missed the Sculptula, though. Let me push it one more time this way. Yeah, there it is. It could be nothing, but 200. It's 200 bottle caps. Oh, it is. It's definitely like Vinny spin. Yeah, it's definitely funny, especially when he does like the warbly voice. I suppose like out of all of the things, like to his spin, like that's the one thing I can't really replicate is the warbly voice. You know? Can't really replicate like the warbly. I would need to like go on voice mod and like try to find a voice that made it similar. But I don't know if I could. I don't know what effect he uses. And also it's probably something like unique to whatever voice modulator he's using. Because every like voice modulator, right, is like slightly, like has their own like sounds. So it could be something unique to his. Also, I just realized bosses don't have health bars. So I was curious how much like damage the jump does there on him versus like the normal attack. And then I was like I literally thought like, I wonder how much this will do. The health bar will tell me. And then as soon as I thought like the health bar will tell me, that's when I noticed, wait, there's no health bar. So I kind of like it though. The like there not being a health bar on the bosses, I mean. In the game that I'm making, like half of my like testers have basically said like, I love having the health bar on like the bosses. And then the other half are like, honestly, like, knowing where the boss is in, like, health makes it less dramatic. I'm just like, huh. I'm not sure which one I should, like, listen to. Like, should there be a boss bar? Like, should there be an HP bar on bosses? Because also, like, I have a plugin for RPG Maker that gives me, like, a special boss health bar. 5 mushrooms. And, like, if I'm not gonna show health bars on bosses, then I don't need to use that plugin. You know? But, I don't know. Okay. Now, I do remember why I wanted to do that. Now that I've done that, I remember why. Because that's the forest medallion. That unlocks Sheik at... I think it's... Well, I might need the fire... Oh, no, wait. Yeah, I have the fire medallion. Forest and fire. I don't know if I need the water medallion. But I know that that unlocks Sheik at least at the Temple of Time. But it might also unlock Sheik in Kakariko. Fairies! I was like, why you don't work, fairies? I have blue potion, so I'm not gonna, like, use that right, like, I'm not gonna use that right away, because blue potion... You know, like blue potion, you know. Sorry, my brain. Like blue potion is the one that like heals you completely, right? 'Cause I know there's red potion, and then there's green potion. I'm pretty sure one is health and one is mana. But also, I think blue potion does like both, right? Cannot remember. I might have forgotten what I was saying prior. Scarox posted just like a couple messages to what I was saying, but now I don't remember what I was saying. Scarox said that there's a niche category of games where it makes sense. I don't remember what it was that we were talking about. But Scarox also said Zelda is not one of those games. So. Gan's Castle boss key. Okay. And Zelda's Lullaby. Oh my gosh. That's what I was freaking waiting on. Bosses having health bars. Okay. That's what I was thinking. But my brain was like, I don't know if that's what it was. So. But yeah, no, I definitely understand. Like, Zelda's not really a game where you need health bars on bosses. Because bosses are pretty... You forgot what I was saying, too. Oh, no. Let's not all forget what I'm saying now. Also, I really like this, like, animated... I don't know what turned that on, though. But I like that that's... Oh, also, freaking equipable gear. I didn't realize that I had that setting on. Like, heck yeah. Boots. Actually, let's put the iron boots on up. And I'll just, like, switch between whether iron or hover are the ones that I'm using. Okay, so now that we have Zelda's Lullaby, that opens a few things. We can go to Kakariko and check the Sun Song. See if that's anything. I know that we technically glitched / time traveled to get to... Yeah, it does not look like Sheikah's here, so I think it's Water Medallion for this one. But we got to Zora's Domain just fine. And like, we went to Ice Cavern at one point. I don't remember... I think we got through that. Yes. Because it was the bow. I was going to say, I think we needed something from there. But that was the bow. And we did that. So we don't actually need anything from there. Also, I don't think I ever realized you could even do this as adults. Like, I legitimately think I've always done this as Kid Link. I don't think I even realized that you could, like, do this as adult. It makes sense in retrospect, but I don't think I even realized that you could. I know that it's 4 medallions and 2 spiritual stones. Why are the ads lagging? Oh dear. I have no idea why the ads are lagging. I did see that, like, it just did an ad break, but I don't know, like, why it would be lagging. Poem is dedicated to the royal family. You learned Requiem of Spirit. Where does it take us, I wonder? Hey! Cool. I still don't think we can do this. I still don't think we can do Spirit Temple, though. Huh. So, like, it tried to play an ad and buffered and then didn't do anything. And then, like, it skipped eventually and went to, like, the next ad without playing. That's weird. Well, I know one thing I can do. I can check the Great Fairy Fountains now. Because I haven't been able to do that. So... $200. Excuse me. Trying to think, because I don't have the keys yet for Spirit Temple. I have the boss key, but I don't have the small keys. So I don't think I can get anywhere in here yet. I do have a recollection of needing to come back here after a certain point. Because I remember complaining about that. I was like, but now I have to still come back here later and actually do this temple. I don't remember what it was that I needed. I mean, it might have been Zelda's Lullaby and, like, small keys. I can't get over there. Was it... I know I needed the hook shot... to get the long shot. Hey, Megaton Hammer. Okay. Like, I'm trying to remember, because it was, you know, a couple of days ago now when I did all of this. When I last ran this. But I do remember needing that was not where I wanted to go. This is where I wanted to go. I remember needing Zelda's Lullaby to get something So that I could do the spirit temple. But I don't remember what. Come on. Freaking C-stick on the GameCube controller is a pain. But I know I can now do Fire Temple, obviously. If I wanted to, because I have everything. Maybe that's what I'll do for now. Because I know I didn't complete Fire Temple, because Megaton Hammer. We do have the keys and the boss key. So I think Megaton Hammer and Hookshot were like the things I was missing to like continue the dungeon. But I don't remember. Again, it's been a little bit. I wasn't originally planning to do this, so I didn't like go through and like watch the VOD or any, you know, at least like the end of the VOD. Like, normally I think I would have at least like watched the end of the VOD to kind of give me an idea of like where I needed to go. And like, you know, it would have been like, this is what I need, you know. But I legitimately don't remember. So apologies if like I was like 2 steps away at this point. And people are like, alright, well you're gonna come in and do like an hour because you're like 2 steps away, and then I take like 3 or something. Just because I don't remember like what all I needed. And nobody is here that was here last time. Because it's just Scarix that's here at the moment, which is perfectly fine. You know, nothing wrong with Scarix being here. It's just that Scarix wasn't here last time, is all. I do remember doing all of this. I do believe I stopped when I like needed the Megaton Hammer to progress. So in fact, I think that might have even been it. I needed the hook shot. I needed the hook shot to get to the long shot. Which was here in the Fire Temple. So, because like the way the game actually works, right, is like the first time you get a hook shot, it's always a hook shot. And then the second time you get a hook shot, it gives you the long shot. So like the 2 places where there was a hook shot were wherever the first one was. I've forgotten already because I already had the hook shot today. But then the other one was here in the Fire Temple. It's like glitched and won't go that last like little bit, and that annoys me. I think it's just because of my like block push speed. I'm like pushing the block too fast for it to like let it go where it needs to go, kind of thing. Frick. Here, let me turn that off for a sec. No? Where the frick is the... Where are you? Oh, you're way on that side. That's right. Forgot that's way over there. Oh yeah, I mean, what can you do, really? You know? It's like a 4-hour VOD anyway, so... Like, somebody... And like, I think it just came out today, even. So like, anybody watching it prior to this stream, like, you would have had to have, like, all day to even watch it, you know? Whee! Whoops. Was at the top of your YouTube recommendations. Well, that's good. I have noticed that ever since I started posting the VODs from my stream, like, my videos have been getting, like, massive views. One of my Warlords of Draenor videos got, like, almost 2,000 views. You would have been watching that if it weren't for the stream. That's funny. That's really funny. I would have been watching your... I would have been watching you if I wasn't watching you. Like, that makes me laugh. I like that. Whoa, frick. Frick. I'm going... See, the problem here is I'm going too fast. I'm not seeing the, like... And I did this last time, too. I was going too fast because of the bunny hood. And so I'm, like, not seeing the firewall go up before I smack into something. You know, before I smack into it. It should be... like this. And that should make the block appear. Indeed. You watch them more than you would care to admit. That's funny. Hey, I mean, I get that. Like, I basically watch everything the Game Grumps do. Just because it's fun. Hey, Pocket Kuko. But like, sometimes I'll have nothing to watch. And I'll just be like, well, what do I do now? I've got nothing to watch. And so I'll like either load up one of their playlists or I'll go to one of like 6 YouTubers that I watch that are literally nothing but Game Grumps compilations. And I'll watch their videos. Oh, right. This is where I got stuck. Let's see. Navi said something about these guys being weak to the Master Sword. I don't know what that means. Like, I wasn't sure if that meant like they took extra damage or if like you could like kill them without needing the hook shot or something. It does still look like you need the hook shot to like kill them. Also interesting that they seem to have 2 health bars. Cause like you see that health bar drained, but then he jumped in and now he's got like a second health bar. Let's see. What does the Big Goron sword do in comparison? Vastly more damage. I'm not entirely sure what weak to the Master Sword means. So, but that's what Navi says, is that they're weak to the Master Sword. I thought maybe that meant, like, maybe it did more damage or something, because that's what I would think, but... Or, like, you could use the Master Sword to, like, knock them out of the dance or something, but neither of those seem to be the case. Unless I'm just doing it wrong. Whoops. I can still do it! That was close. I am gonna have to freaking take off the bunny hood for this, though. Ain't no way I'm doing this freaking circle with the bunny hood on. I will immediately fall off. Goron's claim check. Alright. I don't know what either of those are gonna do for me, but it is neat. Whee! Bump. But, like, it's not, like, me watching Game Grumps compilations, it's not even so much that, like, I really like the Game Grumps particularly. I don't know. They're just, for some reason, they're, like, the only YouTuber that, like, I know where to find compilations for. But also, they're, like, the only YouTubers that I, like, care to, like, watch compilations of. Because while I'm watching compilations of Game Grumps, YouTube will start feeding me recommendations for watching compilations. And they'll be like, here's a Vine Sauce compilation. And I'm like, I like Vinny. And then I don't watch it. You know? I don't know why that is. But when, like, Vinny does his own compilations, I watch those. So it's not like I don't watch compilations of Vinny. I just don't watch them. I keep hoping that somebody will eventually do a compilation of my videos, but I don't know what they would even, like, put in a compilation. I've, like, thought about, like, doing a compilation of my own, like, videos, and I literally go, I have no idea what I would put in these. Because, like, I'm really not funny. Like, at all. Like, just to begin with. And, you know, usually when you do, like, a compilation, you know, it's a compilation of, like, the funny bits, you know? But, I don't know, I don't really make wisecracks or fun jokes or anything, and so I'm just like, I don't know what I would compile together, you know? That's why I keep hoping, like, maybe now that my YouTube seems to be going somewhere, maybe I'll, like, eventually see somebody do a compilation of my stuff. But then I haven't so far. Also, I do like this setting where you can use the shield and, like, the Big Goron sword together. Frick. I'm gonna die at this rate. I'm trying to like speedrun Volvagia just because I've done this so many times. And unfortunately that's like causing me issues. Ow. The ads don't stop. Oh no. I really do wish that I had like some control over it. But I really don't have, like, the only real control that Twitch gives you is like, do you want to serve ads every 30 minutes? 25 minutes? 20 minutes? 15 minutes? 5 minutes? That's the one that, like, makes me go, okay. Like, you can literally set ads to play every 5 minutes. I'm just like, okay. Like, Twitch, I know that, like, you want money and all, but, like, every 5 minutes? Really? Like, at that point, your stream is just, nobody's even watching your stream. They're just watching ads. You know? Deku Sticks. Not even an upgrade to Deku Sticks, just Deku Sticks. Ooh, water medallion. Okay. So I mean, unless I like need the light medallion, I should have the Kakariko village like scene. I forgot to get the long shot. Ow. I like got distracted and forgot to get the long shot. Also, are all the freaking Gorons still gonna be like that I didn't save? Are they still gonna be like stuck in here? Cause that's sad. Like if so, that's sad. Don't mind me. Just gonna take a shortcut. Sort of. Well, that's interesting. Look at this poor guy. He's like, dude. Dude, you like did the whole temple, but you didn't rescue me. Look at that poor guy. He's still stuck in here. Alright. I'm just gonna jump up here. Just because I don't immediately recall how to get up here naturally. But the hook shot, like I need to jump up here to get to the hook shot, so. Like this is what I was trying to get. I just couldn't remember how to get up here. And then I ended up freaking doing everything else. So. Hey! You definitely didn't like do the whole temple and not save like 4 of us, did you? Totally. Definitely didn't forget any of you. Oh, that's interesting. Gonna need to pay attention to their health bar next time. Because that just told me something different about, like, if what I saw is what I think I saw, and that tells me something about what the way those work that is different from how I thought they worked. Big bomb bag. Like, thanks for saving us, dude. But why didn't you ever talk to any of us? Ow. I was gonna say I'm about to die, but it seems that death came before I could say that. But yes, this is where I need to go. I need to go up here, so I can then turn around and go over here. And this, if I'm remembering the guide correctly, is supposedly where the long shot is. Assuming, again, that I, am actually reading the guide correctly. Winter is coming. I was like, what? I was like, wait a minute. I got that already. Nice ice trap, dude. Thanks. Bombs. That is not a long shot. And that is a... Oh, yeah! That's right. Now I remember. I needed the prescription to progress further. Now I remember the guy telling me about getting the prescription, which was from Pierre, and so it wasn't the long shot. It was that I needed the prescription to progress, I think. And then that leads to something that I don't remember what, but it's part of... The prescription is... I think that's the spirit temple keys, come to think of it. If I'm remembering right. I think that's what that was. Okay, the only thing I haven't done is that area now. So, let's go down. Let's go back to the start of the temple. Whee! Interesting. They changed that. Or I'm just misremembering that. I don't know which. But I gotta go this way now. Bonk. Ah, yeah, that's interesting. Let's see. Aha! Interesting. That's so weird. Like, you can knock down their health to, like 1 or 0 or whatever it is. But you can't kill them when they're like in that state. So that's interesting. That was not how I thought that worked. I thought you were only getting like 1 extra hit in there. I didn't realize that you were draining the health bar completely. 5 bison dollars. And it's the other flare dancer. So that's also, this is interesting. I swear I remember being able to like skip phases with the flare dancer. But this, like the health bar on these guys tells me that you can't. It's probably one of those, like, I probably Mandela affected it. Where I, like, misremembered, but then I was, like, so sure that I remembered that it, like, became a memory, even though it never happened. So, I think it just, like, Mandela affected that. Deku seeds. And what are you gonna give me? Oh, this is rusted. Long. Okay, but like, how long have you been in here, dude? The freaking switch to your cage is rusted. Hey, ice arrows, or blue fire arrows in this version. Cool. Very cool. I like that. Alright, well that's the fire temple done. I think. I think I might have missed a Skulltula somewhere, but I am hoping that it wasn't important. Because I mean, Skulltulas in the dungeons can have stuff. But I think I got all the Skulltulas there after I picked up the prescription. I think that was the last Skulltula in the dungeon. So I do know that I need to get the freaking prescription to what's-his-face in Death Mountain. So that is the next step. To go do that. Bump! Not Death Mountain. Lake Hylia. I knew what I was trying to say. Freaking glasses, though, are all fricked up. They're not sitting on my face properly for some reason. I don't know why. Sometimes I notice it, sometimes I don't. But they've been like that for a couple of years now. Where they don't sit properly on my face. Just sometimes, like, I don't notice it. And then just, like, all of a sudden my freaking, like, nose is just like, these glasses aren't sitting right. Serenade of Water. There we go. Alright, well, that just leaves the Song of Time check. And I don't actually need to do that. So, look at that. I love that. I don't know what, like, makes that happen. But I love it. So let's go to Lake Hylia next. And let's give the prescription. And I believe that will give me the Spirit Temple keys. Which then if I complete the Spirit Temple, or I mean, I guess I could also complete the Shadow Temple. Or the Water Temple. Like, I don't know which dungeons give the spiritual stones. I'm sure I could check by going to the Pedestal of Time, but I'm not that worried. I know that the Spirit Temple gives one. And that's the last thing we need to do to, like, complete the seed. Is get one more spiritual stone. Because I remember it's 2 spiritual stones and 4 medallions that you need in order to complete this seed. So. And I believe this prescription here will get me the Spirit Temple keys. Friggin'! No, that's right. You don't take the prescription. It's King Zora that takes the prescription. Frickin'. Ah! I think one of our songs took us there. But I don't remember. It's not that one. Haven't tried Serenade of Water yet. The frick is this? Got it. This place. This is where this is. I don't have fire arrows, which is slightly annoying. This, I think, is just a Skulltula token. Yes. Because technically that is an overworld token. Okay, so I gotta get to Zora's River, actually. But I have Zelda's Lullaby, so I can just go there. Like, I don't have to figure out a way to get there, like, hacking it, you know? Like, I could just go there now. Because, like... if I was doing this... Like, if I didn't have Zelda's Lullaby, I would have to... go back to the past. Go to Lake Hylia, swim through the thing, and then come back to the future. But I don't have to do all that. Hey, Pocket Cuckoo! Not that I really need it, though. At this point. I never did find any of the magic beans, unfortunately, but I guess they never really ended up being important. I know I'm doing a lot of like hovering, but I've been through all of this like 5 times in the randomizer so far. I think, like, at this point, I think it's fair to just do a little bit of hovering to get, you know, to where I like need to go. I'm seriously, like, tempted to rebind the C buttons. The problem is that I can't rebind them without, like, rebinding them as a whole. And I don't really want to do that. Because, like, I still use the C stick to, like, do everything, you know? Hey, look, there's your shield. King Zora time. You can get 2 items from him. One from talking to him, which is 20 lemmings. The other from the prescription. Hey, Spirit Temple keyring. Okay, so I was right. Coolies. Coolies. I wonder what Big Goron gives, though, for the claim check. Maybe, since I'm here, maybe I'll make a quick detour over to Death Mountain. Whee! I also suppose like I can do all of these, I suppose. That said, I never did do the big pose either, but I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't need them. Or rather, as long as I don't need them. I can avoid. It's not a big deal. What in tarnation? Interestingly, it doesn't get rid of the... Oh, no, because I have to, like, show it to her, don't I? I have to actually, like, show it to Anju afterwards. Giant's wallet, that's helpful. That's a piece of art. So there's no cure, medicine and cure fool. I guess that's true. Old Skulltula token for 100 ruples. Alright. Well, let's go to the top of Death Mountain and turn in the claim check. I don't think it will be anything important. I don't remember it being listed in the guide. When, like, I got stuck and I started, like, using the guide to figure out where to go next. But, whoops. I just wanted to go up. Hey, no more rumbly rumble. There be a Skulltula there. Ha! Get wrecked. Ooh. 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 Hey, heart container. I'll take it. I will take it. I have no issues with that. Deku Nut. Thank you, Great Fairy, for giving me your nuts. I really did not need them, but thank you. Okay. Where can I go next? I guess back to here. Now that we have the keys, we can do the Spirit Temple. I don't remember if I did everything as child or if I got stuck with keys. Boom. But I think from here, most of the child areas that I could have done before, I think I can do. Like as adult, I think. Don't fully know though. Frick. Alright. They split into 3. Forgot. I'm supposed to be able to do that. That has... Is this... Oh. Okay. I noticed it had like a skull on it, so I was like, oh, is that like a trap chest? But nope, it's a Skulltula chest. Interesting. Ooh, big chest. Art container. And this one is just a trap. So I don't need to hit that one. But yes, anything that you need the sunlight for, except for like that, you can use the light arrows for, which is really cool. They're called sunlight arrows. Tiny chest. Mini chest. 50 septims. Thanks. Technically, you can only be over here, like, you can only get over here initially as child. The real question is, I never did get the long shot. Okay. I was like, can I get over there with just a hook shot? But I could. So, neat. Like, I couldn't get back without doing the thing. This is definitely interesting, running through, like, the child area as adult. Oh, I can't use Deku sticks, though. As adult. So, that might be a ripperoni right there. Ripperoni and cheese! Because I need Deku sticks for this room. Either that or fire arrows. Fire arrows would work too. Well, maybe that's just for a chest. I mean, it might be an important chest, though. I don't know if Din's fire will take too long to cast each time. To be able to hit every torch. Yeah, it does. Din's fire takes too long to cast. Like, I don't know, could I like stand here and activate? Well, nope. I don't have any mana left, so. Oh well. Hopefully that chest isn't something I need. If it is, then we'll come back as child. Like, it's literally the only thing I can't do is that one chest, so. Which is good, because I'd really prefer to fight this Iron Knuckle as adult. Turd! Turd! Heck yeah. And this is normally where you get the silver gauntlets. But, it's not for this time around. It's a bundle of arrows. Good. Love it. That is a recovery heart. Thanks. Love it. Well, hopefully I don't need this chest. If I do, then I'll have to come back for it. Just saving myself a little bit of time. Actually, should put the hover boots onto a button. Oh, I need hammer. Hammer! I don't know if anybody's ever watched the English version of the anime Scried. But there's a dude in the English version who, like, the only line he ever says is, hammer! I mean, it's a small chest, so I probably don't need it. But if I do this, I can get around to it the easiest. Which I've never considered before until just now. Haven't seen it? Okay. The only reason I actually watched it myself is because my favorite English voice actor or actress is in it. Laura Jill Miller. She plays one of the characters. I don't remember the character's name off the top of my head. Like, that was why I, like, even started watching it to begin with. Because I, like, heard her voice and was like, hey! I know that voice actress. And I was all excited because it was her voice. Where the frick? I gotta, like, figure out how to kill this one. Yes. I need to, like, what? Not do that. Just need to, like, run kind of, like, forward on this guy. Got them all. Heck yeah. That's the first time I've done that without fire arrows, by the way. I've always used fire arrows or Din's fire for that. Never solved that puzzle properly. But now I did, for the first time. Boom. Why not? There we go. This wall is going to be way easier. Scried is an interesting anime, though. It's like... It's basically like these people... Wow! What did I just say about this was going to be way easier? It would have been if I had dealt with that guy. But they're born with this power called Alter. And what it does is literally lets them alter reality around them. They can basically transform anything into anything else. And so it's basically like people are just born with this ability where they can like basically destroy something and convert it into something else. Yeah, one of the ways that it's kind of demonstrated is like one of the guy that shouts "Hammer!" He like demolishes a building. But it like lets him summon this big like mech kind of thing. This like mech looking like robot thing. That basically just is a giant, robot meant for just punching things, The altar itself, the mech, his ability is called Hammer in the English version anyway. I don't know if it's what it's called in the Japanese or whatnot. But it's a very interesting anime. I would not recommend reading the manga version. I mean, like, I kinda would. Just cause it's, like, kinda up my alley. But also, like, it's ridiculous. So it's kind of hilarious because if you watch the anime, and I don't know if it's the English, I don't know if it was like an English localization thing. Cause I've only ever watched the English version, cause Laura Jill Miller, I really have, like, the only reason I watched it was because she was in it. If she hadn't been in it, I don't know that I would have watched it. And so, like, it's one of really only, like, a couple of animes that I would, like, have only watched in English, basically. Cause, like, usually I'm all about, like, well, you gotta watch it in Japanese, and then you can actually, like, get, past, like, all the American censorship and stuff. But I've only really watched the English version. Can I do this without a long shot? I guess I can. Interesting. To say that to say that the anime has a lot of scantily clad women, would be telling the truth, which is really funny because the manga has, like, a lot of that. But the anime, oddly enough, like, does everything it can to keep the women, like, as clothed as possible. Like, there are several scenes in the anime where, like, they will throw outfits onto the characters so that they're not like, there's a scene where one of the girls is in, like, a tank top, and they're very, like, careful to kind of show her from, like, the back. And whenever the scene goes to, like, her, like, you know, from the front, they give her, like, a jacket. And so, like, you know, like, she's sitting in a chair talking to some, you know, somebody, like, dressed not even, like, that, in, like, that much of a revealing outfit. But then she, like, gets up to go talk to somebody else and, like, throws on a jacket over the tank top. I'm just like, it's so weird that, like, the anime is so, like, again, maybe it's an English thing. I haven't watched the Japanese version. I really should. But they're very careful not to put the women in scantily clad outfits, is what I'm saying. Which is the exact opposite of what the manga does. So, the character that Lara Jill Miller plays in the English version, in the manga, ends up basically wearing nothing, like, many times in the manga version. But she's never like that in the anime. So, again, maybe it's just the English version, though. I can't say one way or the other. I've not watched the Japanese version. I should look it up. I'm sure somebody has subbed. And, you know, so maybe that was like an English censorship. You know, like that could have been like an American censorship thing. So, but I don't know. Don't know if it was or was not. Also, I like that the mirror shield in this one fight randomly gains the ability to absorb magic. But only for this one fight, and it's never before or after or since. You know? Like, this mechanic never comes into play again. But for this one fight, you can absorb instead of just reflect. And it's so weird. Such a random choice. I guess the idea was that, like, just being able to reflect would be too easy, you know? That's my assumption. Because you don't have to, like, hit her in any, like, specific way. You know, you just have to, like, absorb 3 and it blasts back at her. So maybe they're like, just the fact that you could reflect at any time would make it too easy, kind of thing. That would be my guess. But that's all I can guess, is that would be why. There's like this random absorption mechanic. I'll come back to hunt you! You got bombs. You got the bombs. Cookery Emerald. And I do believe that's it, actually. Believe that's all we need to do. Probably the easiest way to get back is just to go here. But I believe we can go fight Ganon now. Let me make sure I have my hover boots, or my iron boots. Because I always do the iron boot challenge with Ganon. Always. I don't know. I just enjoy doing it. You know? It's a neat little, like, extra challenge. Like, usually I don't care for, like, you know, make it harder just for it to be harder, but I don't know. It makes it fun to do that here. You know, throw on the iron boots just to make it a little bit harder. Although the problem is I don't have any fairies. Usually I have a couple of fairies. I don't have that this time. But maybe we'll find some as we go up the tower. I have the Ganon trials off, as you probably noticed. You know, the fact that I just went straight to the freaking middle. But yeah, I have the Ganon trials off. So it causes glitches in the mod loader multiplayer version. And while I'm not doing that, I'm just doing the normal, I'm doing the PC port. You know, it's not a multiplayer version. Like, it's one of those settings that I always think I turned on and then I didn't. And this time I did turn on, but I didn't need to turn it on. So, but it's fine. It's not like it's a big deal. Get wrecked. Big chest time. What will it be? Deku Sticks. Hey, actually a Deku Stick upgrade. That's funny. It's taken until just now to get a Deku Stick upgrade. Turd! Turd! Ow! Cerise Ajani, by the way. I don't know why I just suddenly remembered it, but that's the name of the character Lara Jo Miller plays in the anime. Is Cerise Ajani. Like I said, I had no idea why that just suddenly popped into my head, and I was like, that's what it was. But, just out of nowhere, I remembered. So, I thought I would mention the name of the character. So, she dies in the anime, but she technically doesn't die in the manga. It's confusing. After what you did to Coincidence Island, how can you call me the bad guy? Right? I like that. He's not wrong, though. You kinda are the bad guy in... Link's Awakening, because, like... I mean, yes, it is a dream, right? But, like, you do kill all of those people. Though I did have that discussion with a friend of mine once. I'm like, you know, have you ever thought about how dark Link's Awakening is? Because, like, you kill everybody in that dream. Like, at the end of the game. And they're like, well, also, it was just a dream. So, like, are you really killing anybody? Considering that it's a dream? You know, when you dream, like, and then you wake up, are you, like, killing all of the people in that dream? You know, like, in real life? I was kind of like, holy crap! Like, the duality of it is awesome. Because, like, you can think about it. Like, you can think about it in both ways. Right, you old King Ganondorf, beaten by this kid? Threed! Like, you can think about it both ways, you know? Like, yes, it was a dream, so therefore nobody died, and therefore nothing bad happened. But also, like, were they just a dream? You know, like, they weren't just a dream, but, like, does that matter, you know? Like, were they alive? How long, you know, how long had the Windfish been dreaming for? You know, had there been generations upon generations? You know, was the Windfish only dreaming for, you know, Marin's lifetime? I'll make sure I have my iron boots equipped. That said, it wouldn't hurt to get some hearts or fairies or something. From him breaking stuff. Assuming any drop. This is also the first time in a while that I've done this without the double defense. And so that makes it even more challenging. But all you gotta do is roll at the right time. And he misses you every time. Oh, also the bunny hood is definitely helping, I just realized. The bunny hood is definitely making me faster. I just thought about that. I think for phase 2 I will take off the bunny hood. Because that is definitely making me faster. Also, if you don't pick up the Master Sword after a while, he will, like, regenerate an attack. So, like, he'll regenerate and you have to, like, do the whole thing again. Oh, yeah. Quite a bit slower now. This feels right. Oh, frick. All I have is one blue potion. Gulp. Yep. Full health. That's it. That's all the healing I got. If I lose... Oh, frick. I goofed that up. Frick. Frickin' heck. I goofed up the rolling. Frick. Oh, but I didn't actually take damage there for some reason. Frick. Okay, I am legitimately taking no damage and I don't know why. Oh, never mind. Maybe blue potion gives you a couple of like extra hits or something. I don't know. Or maybe I was like rolling. Like, maybe I... No? Yeah. Maybe I'm, like, getting invincibility or something from the roll. For, like, just long enough. Fucking roll, Link. Roll! And maybe I'm, like, rolling and it's, like, applying, like, an invincibility state. Or... I guess not invincibility, but like a no damage state. But then like I'm still getting hit and therefore taking the hit itself. You know you've played too much Ocarina of Time when you stop right before the final hit and decide, which tunic would I look best in this time? There's something else from my childhood. 6 ages now. That's it. That's the run. Ancient creators of Hyrule. Now, open the sealed door and send the evil incarnation of darkness into the void of the evil realm. That's the run. I mean, it took 2 hours according to OBS, so neat. Still had another, like, 2 hours. I mean, it probably took longer than if I had done it that day. Just because some of that was me figuring out where I was and whatnot. And, like, trying to remember, like, where did I need to go, you know? Whereas I would have, like, known back then. But still. Not bad. You know, 2 hours. There's a Triforce of powers in my hand. Well, while these credits play, I'm going to display an advertisement of my own. Whoops, that is too big. I did not expect it to do that. So it has been 2 years since I was given the affiliate status, or will be 2 months, or two, did I say months? Years, 2 years. But it will have been 2 years come December 8th, since I was given the Twitch affiliate status. And Twitch notified me of this, like 2 days ago, yesterday, something like that. And was like, hey, we have this new thing where, like, on, like, your affiliate day, it'll, like, do cool stuff, and there's, like, it'll give, like, people a party hat, or me a party hat, or something like that. I don't know. I have forgotten. But it's supposed to do, like, cool stuff in, like, Celebration. So I figured that if Twitch is gonna do some cool stuff in Celebration, then I will do some cool stuff in Celebration in kind. I haven't decided yet what I'm gonna do exactly. I'm probably gonna just play a bunch of games that I want to play, you know? Because that's why way back when I did like a 24-hour thing for hitting 500 subs. Like, this was literally like 13 years ago. Like, I'm not kidding. It's been that long. But like, I did this thing, and like, I did a 24-hour stream for that. Well, I can't do a 24-hour stream here in this house. I thought about it, but I can't do that. That wouldn't work. Like, my family wouldn't, I wouldn't be able to do that, basically. So, I'm going to do a 12-hour stream, to celebrate. If anybody has any recommendations for stuff, like, you know, if you hit 5 subs, then this happens, or if you hit 10 subs, you know, I mean, well, I'm at 2 subs, so I'm not looking at, like, getting, you know, large numbers or anything. But maybe like, if you cheer X amount of bits or something, like something cool will happen. So if anybody's got like any like thoughts on that, let me know. Because I'd like to like set that up for December 8th to do that. But mostly, the stream is gonna start hopefully around 4 Eastern time and run for 12 hours. At some point in that, probably a couple of times, I'll have to do some BRBs for, getting food, getting drinks, peeing. But it should be a nice long, like 12-hour stream, where we can just, come together, hang out, have fun. So if that interests you, feel free to come on out on December 8th, and, hang out with us, basically, for that. Like I said, if you've got any recommendations for stuff I could do, let me know if you're watching this on YouTube, let me know in the comments below. So, I don't know if Twitch highlights have a way of, like, leaving comments. So, rip that. But anyway, the point is, nice fun little 12-hour stream. Normally I would think of doing something like Mario Kart or, some multiplayer thing. But since I have no money and I don't have a working Switch, I don't have a way of doing like Mario Kart or anything multiplayer really over the Switch. That said, if anybody has any recommendations for something that could be multiplayer, like from PC that's not hard to stream, maybe I could do like Netplay Mario World or Netplay Mario Party or something like that. I'll have to talk to a couple of friends about the possibility of doing that. So, but yeah, so December 8th, 4 p.m. Feel free to come out, hang out, and, party, if you will. So, also, I don't know if I've ever shown it off, but I made a logo for myself, and you can see it right there in the image. I can do a little bit of cropping so that I can make it bigger and people can see it easier. But I made... Hey, here's the thing. I don't know much about making logos. Like at all. But this is the logo I made. I mean, it's literally just my name in a cool font. In like a cool, like, pink on like dark pink. But yeah. That is currently my official logo. So if anybody knows how to do it better, I would appreciate the recommendations. If you're gonna message me and say I can design it, just pay me X amount of money, I have no money. To be clear, and I don't mean like I have a little that I can work out a payment plan or anything like that. I mean no money. Zero money. $0. So I literally cannot pay. So, not asking anybody to do anything. mostly because of that, you know. But any recommendations would be good for how to like spruce up the logo. I guess that's that for Ocarina Rando, though. Because we beat the seed. So, I am curious. Let me see. I'm gonna look at their cheats and see what they have in here. Okay, yeah, they don't have, like... I was gonna, like, show off kind of what happened in my first playthrough of, Ocarina of Time, but it doesn't look like they have a way to do that. So, like, unless... trying to think. Yeah. They don't... I'm not really seeing any way to, like... like, give myself, like, all of the things right at the beginning. So... which is basically what I would need to do. I mean, I could try... because there is, like, a save editor. Maybe it would, like, do the same thing. Because I can, like, enable and disable things. But it would also be really complex to sit here and do that for everything, unfortunately. So... haha! Using this, though, I can, like, cycle items. Let's see, like, D-pad right is currently Bunny Hood. Now it's Goron Mask. That's cool. Oh, there's the Ocarina of Time. Oh! Nice. Oh, I have gone into glitch items. Oh! Glitch items. Oh, and I crashed it. I crashed it by glitching. Item number 130 caused it to crash. That's great. I like that. That's funny. Oh, and of course, because it closed, now I have to go in and remap the C-pad, the buttons over again. That's fine. I don't really need to do any of that. So next time that I do a rando, there are some other neat settings that I can use. I wonder what shuffling the Master Sword even, like, would do. I don't know what that was. Had to fight Bongo Bongo as a kid? Oh no. That's unfortunate. I also don't know, like, there doesn't seem to be a way to, like, save, like, your presets. As far as I can tell, which is a little unfortunate. I would like a way to do that, but that might be kind of beyond what this, version can do right now. The Ship of Harkinian. It might be beyond what Ship of Harkinian is currently able to do. I don't know for sure though. But it's either way, it's plenty of fun. So, yes, this is 8.0. I think there's. Well, this is 8.0 of, the Ship of Harkinian. It's not mod loader or nightly or anything like that. It's, like, it's literally a PC version of the game. So, like, you don't use mod loader or anything like that. It just also doesn't have any kind of, like, multiplayer or anything like that, so. But I haven't looked into mod loader or nightly, mod loader nightly or anything like that. So. Well, it's only 2 o'clock, so I feel like I should do something else. Like, play something else. But I'm not sure what else to play. I started this stream planning to play Warcraft. That didn't work out. And now we're playing, we just finished Ocarina of Time. So I am not fully sure what else I should do.